d4, knight f6, developing a piece towards the center and preventing e4, knight f3, e6, releasing f8 bishop, e3, d5, putting a pawn in the center, bishop d6. So white is gonna play Cole's system. We saw it in one of the previous games. So the plan is knight b to d2 and e4 at some point. In general, it's good to develop kingside pieces first to enable early castling on that side. c5, really typical move in queen's pawn openings, striking at the center and establishing a state of tension in that area. c3, if black takes here, white can take with e-pawn and open diagonal for c1 bishop. Knight b to d7, probably superior than knight c6, because on d7 knights are connected, and if this knight is exchanged, this knight can replace it. Also, knight on d7 is keeping a c-file open for a rook or a queen. And finally, if white plays d takes c5, the knight can recapture and be strong on that square. Knight b to d2, bishop d6, more energetic than bishop e7, where bishop would be limited to defensive tasks. Castle, castle, rook e1, putting more pressure on e4. This file is closed now, but it's soon going to be opened, so white rook is ready for that. Queen c7, ideal location for the queen, putting a pressure on the center and down the c-file. Now e4, the key move in the Cole system, blasting the position wide open and releasing all the stored up energy of his pieces. The immediate threat is e5, attacking two pieces at once. C takes d4, now black controls the open c-file. Taking with the pawn is better than taking with the knight, because black pieces would have access to e5 and c5. After pawn takes, white is again threatening e5. Takes, black parries the threat and leaves white with isolated pawn. Knight takes e4, certainly not bishop takes, because after takes, white will lose service of his very strong bishop, which is essential for the kingside attack. So takes with the knight, and now b6, intending to mobilize c8 bishop. Bishop g5. The bishop joins the attack. Knight takes. Of course, black was afraid of bishop b7. Takes. Breaking up pawn structure on the king side. So that's why he took. And now we take with the rook. Much better than bishop takes. Because after bishop b7, trying to force some exchanges, if we try to avoid it, then takes and check. But with rook takes, rook is now helping attack black king. Bishop b7. If knight f6, then rook h4. We're gonna win this pawn. If h6, then takes and takes. After bishop b7, we have a fine in-between move. Rook c1, seizing the open file and attacking a queen. Queen b8. If takes, we take a queen. Takes, and we have queen c6, winning a piece. After queen b8, rook h4, threatening to win a pawn, g6, defending against that. If black tries knight f6, then of course takes and takes. If h6, then takes. And king is very vulnerable. This wasn't mentioned in the book, but taking with the rook is not the best because of bishop f4. So better was queen d2, preventing bishop f4 and then taking a pawn. So g6, bishop b5, great move. G6 move created two weaknesses, f6 and h6, and the knight is protecting one of them. So with this move, we are trying to eliminate that knight and use these weaknesses. Queen e8, queen has to protect the knight because knight does not have any squares to escape to. If bishop c8, then bishop c6 wins the exchange. If takes and queen e8, then queen b7 wins a piece. After queen e8, knight e5, attacking a knight once more. Bishop c8, defending the knight. No better was takes, and after bishop c8, rook c7, and the knight is lost. Bishop d5, also rook c7. After bishop c8, we have a nice sacrifice, rook c8. After queen takes, of course not rook takes because of bishop d7. So queen c8, bishop d7, queen c7. If queen b7 or queen b8, then bishop c6 wins the exchange. Queen a6 was possible, but with queen c7, black is hoping for some counterplay on the c-file. Now comes really beautiful move, knight g4, trying to exploit weaknesses on f6 and h6 and threatening mates, let's say a6, knight f6, after any king move, mate on h7. h5, making a room for a king. If f5, then takes. On king g7, bishop h6 wins the exchange, king h8, but then knight f6. And this is really bad for black. After h5, check. On king h8, it is going to be fast mate. After king g7, check, destroying a pawn structure around the black king, takes. If king g8, then check again, followed by mate. And after take, threatening mate. King h8, the only move to stop mate temporarily, because after bishop h6, mate follows in two moves.